What's up, everybody? Well, it's Carpo, and I'm chilling on the hammock. I still don't know whether or not you'll be able to see my feet. They're cast under the lamplight over there. I was actually came out here last night and saw the moon rising, and it's just the most beautiful moonrise. I took some photos and had to post them on Facebook. One of those rare times where I just have to post something, and I love sharing moons, especially on the horizon. I mean, of course, you can only see so much in this when it's up high in the sky. And the interesting factoid: the moon really doesn't change size, even by perspective. It's just because it's on the horizon, it looks bigger. If you put your hand out in front of you and see the distance between your fingers, and then measure it high in the sky, and it'll be exactly the same. It's one of those strange illusions that we, whoa, weird. I think a bat just flew by in front of me. Either that or a large nighttime insect. But it's a nice cool breeze. I'd say it's probably about 80 degrees. It's just perfect. Actually, we had plans to go camping this weekend until like Tuesday, and it kind of fell through because we couldn't quite find the place we wanted. So I ended up, it was my son's birthday today, and plus he didn't really want to go camping, and it's like 100 degrees here. So we went to OMSI, and OMSI is the Oregon Museum of Science and Industry. It's basically a scientific museum for kids, and for all ages, because I had just as much damn fun there as he did. I love looking around at the different things and the little exhibits, and it was amazing. There was there's something magnificent about playing with science, and doing various experiments. They had a 3D printer there and had a bunch of the objects, that they'd printed, and I was like, it's just really cool to look at that kind of stuff. To actually get an idea of what's out there. Because I always see 3D printers on TV, but I've never actually held the stuff, that they make. It's pretty cool. It actually reminds me of this thing I saw recently about a new type of 3D printing, where instead of actually layering it like they do with a 3D printer in a tray, there's actually a device that holds it from the top and lifts it out and gradually comes out of a solution. It uses UV light to harden it on the top of the solution. So you can make very complicated patterns, but they can also be flexible, like shoe material. Like you can make sneaker soles out of them, which was a good example they used, because you could literally have walk in and step down on a plate, measure your foot like you would with any orthopedic, except for it would just print them out for you in about 10 minutes. Hell, make a cheap version of that, for tennis shoes. You can make the other part of it too. I like ideas that will help future generations to ease the burden. I guess that leads me to one of those negative aspects, is that, as times change, jobs are going to become more scarce. We've worked our ass off to get where we're at, and unfortunately we've worked ourselves out of a job, literally, as a species. We've created the machines to ease the burden on us, machines that can replace entire workforces, and these are the things that we yearn for. But at the same time, we have mixed feelings. People are very upset about losing, say, coal mining jobs, or assembly jobs, which, by having robots do them, we do take away human jobs. But if it's something that we need and a robot can make it, we have to look at it differently. And 3D printing is going to be the same way, which is what made me think about this. 3D printing is it's going to replace a lot of aspects of retail. Let's say somebody used the example of the auto parts store. So many little components that you have to order, that gaskets and whatnot, and rubber plugs and seals and parts, door parts and whatnot. And you said you could easily run your auto shop out of a very small unit, for those types of parts. It could be like a one-stop, You could have rivets made on the spot for whatever model you need, that kind of stuff. Plastic rivets, of course, they're still not able to make metal 3D printing, but, it's only a matter of time. I have no doubt that they'll be able to rearrange the atoms in any way they want in time. And so that kind of leaves us wondering, as a species, where do we stand, Where does that leave us? Should we accept the fact that we're moving forward into a new world and and deal with that? I have a tough time figuring out how this all balances out, in the sense of, what about people who are losing their jobs? How is this going to affect people? Are the generations coming up going to have it easier, but at the same time have it harder because it's harder to make money? Or are we going to be able to create things that make life so easy that maybe there will be enough for everyone? And food becomes a major issue, but it's more than just food. It's the fact that everybody wants more, and I think if people, as a whole, wanted less, but wanted more for all of us, that could change a lot. When 90% of the people in this country own over half the wealth, and where 1% own at least half of that wealth, it really makes you wonder what would happen if, not spreading the money out among the people, but rather if everyone had the same values. Because there have been some ideas. I've heard people who had plans to spread out all the money in the world. It's like this World Fund plan or something, where they want to spread out the money and give everybody equal shares, as if this is some kind of a feedlot. This isn't how things work. You can't just expect everyone to be able to handle money, because money doesn't have any actual substance. That's kind of, it's about the resources themselves. It doesn't matter if everyone has the money if they can't afford to have the resources imported, or if they don't have the kind of, access, or it just doesn't work for everyone. The point being that we have to work this out ourselves and break ourselves out of this crazy shell we have, this idea that we're all separate. It's just complete nonsense. People have to get over it. But at the same time, I understand why the mentality seems to dominate and why materialism dominates, because it's a scary world, and to think that it's better to protect yourself first is always going to be a priority for a lot of people. Now, I won't deny that I'll do everything I can to help others. I have empathy. But at the same time, I won't sacrifice my own freedoms and my own happiness to a huge extent to, say, benefit a stranger. But there are times when I would. And there are times when a human would be selfless enough to sacrifice a lot of who they are to help someone else. It's interesting being a human. It really is. Anyway, well, I'm going to head back inside and finish the rest of my evening. Opened some late night birthday presents for my son, who's 7 today. Been thinking about the number 7 a lot. I hope all of you are doing wonderful wherever you may be and whatever you may be doing. And Carpo After Dark, over and out.